Yeah. And I also believe, that there is, you know, maybe just that's when my son
Yeah,
was meant to be born.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally. I don't like, I've heard it through some astrologers. Obviously, I've heard it through some psychics and like people who connect with spirit babies, but they do talk about how souls choose, right? There's some souls who are like, I want to be born on like this particular time and this date. I believe there is a certain amount of children who want conscious, healthy mamas, right? So when we talk about this physical world where you see, God bless her soul, the crackhead on the side of the street get pregnant very easily, right? Well, I believe that that soul was ready for a really major challenge, whether that be physically, mentally, emotionally, where I think there's a few souls, if not a large amount of souls that are like, no, I need you to have your stuff together. So when I come down, I don't have as many challenges. I don't have to deal with the generational trauma. I don't have to deal with ADHD or autism or food sensitivities or things like that because I have greater plans for myself in the future, right?
I love
And
that.
yeah, and because
Yeah.
we're, passing down genetics here on this physical plane, the more that you do to increase your physical health, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, the less your child has to deal with, or you dramatically reduce those chances as well, right? Like nothing's set in stone, obviously things can happen. But I truly believe the women who are listening to this podcast who, seek outside of the box, holistic care, those are the women who those children are like, yeah, I'm waiting for you. Come on. And I know that was true for my kids, right? They were like, absolutely not. You got to get some stuff together. And as you know, when motherhood comes and you haven't dealt with some issues, they're just highlighted, right? My
Yeah.
second son absolutely came to trigger things in me that I didn't know were there, right? I didn't know that I had those mental and emotional issues. I didn't know that I was suppressing so much emotion from my childhood. And because I was conscious enough to go like, this doesn't feel right. Like him crying over a red popsicle when he wanted a blue popsicle, and my body is freaking out because of his crying. There's something going on with me, not him, right? Because he's a
Yeah.
kid. Like, yeah, I'd be pissed off too if I wanted a red one and I gotta, like whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our
And
children are our teachers.
yeah, exactly. And had obviously you had an interest in astrology because you said you didn't take the course because you wanted to sleep well. When you started learning about astrology and linking it to your journey, was there some like hidden gems in your chart or some like, things that were there for you?
Yeah, like I have a very challenging chart. I have one of the most challenging charts that they are. And, you know, yes, I think first of all, when I looked, and there are some times in our lives that we're more supported in having pregnancies. And this is mainly when Jupiter transits our first house, our fourth house, or our fifth house. Okay, so when Jupiter trined my first house, this is when I met my husband. This is when I could get pregnant for the first time. I was 40 years old. I never got pregnant, and I was not always careful. I can say that, and there was even a time that I had a relationship, and we tried to get pregnant. So it was not easy for me to get pregnant throughout my entire life, probably even when I was younger. But so when Jupiter is in our first house, the first house is the house of the body, physical body. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. It is the biggest planet in the solar system. It's the planet of good luck, of gifts, of blessings. Okay, so when it transits the first house, it means that we get a blessing to our physical body. We can expand our physical body. Some people gain weight during this time, which is actually good for fertility if you're very thin.
Yeah.
I think you're like that. I'm like that. Like when I went to my Ayurvedic doctor, she said, "You're too thin. You need to gain some weight because this would not support a pregnancy." So this is one time when you can get very fertile. Then when Jupiter goes to your fourth house, the fourth house is the house of home and family. So when you get good luck in your home and family, it's expansion to your family. Okay, so this is another time when you can have children. And then when it transits the fifth house is the house of children. So this is really like when you're super fertile and when you can get pregnant. So I got pregnant when my Jupiter was in my fifth house.
That's so cool.
So that it was just a matter of like playing with the cosmic. But I had like, for me it was my harshness. I have Saturn, you have Saturn on your ascendant, I have Saturn on my sun. So and my moon is in Capricorn, so it means that I'm very ambitious. I'm very like achievement based. And like you said, it's a very masculine energy of, I'm going to do this, and this, and then I expect it to work.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to prove to the world that, because as you said, I went to the doctors and they're like, you don't stand a chance without IVF. And I'm like, no, I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you that I don't, and I didn't need IVF.
Yeah.
I did not do one IVF. Most of the doctors, they don't even offer insemination, which is ridiculous because it's such a much easier process. All it does, it's like, you have to concentrate your partner's semen and getting it. It's as easy as doing your pop.
Yeah.
Right? I just did it today. So it's exactly the same, it doesn't hurt at all. And most of the doctors, especially when you're at a certain age, they're like, okay, let's do IVF. You can't, insemination won't work. And I'm like, but I got pregnant naturally.
Yeah.
Like
I can't even tell you how many clients I have that have got pregnant naturally, and the doctors are still sat there saying, nope, you can't do it. And it really plays on your subconscious belief and your whole journey. And it's hard to go, absolutely not. I know you're the quote unquote expert, but I got pregnant naturally. What do you mean I can't do it? If I can do it once, why can't I do it again?